The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that you had a beautiful week, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you today. I have some wonderful experts that are going to be sharing about emotional intelligence, stress, and your Empress energy. So you're in for a real treat today. But I'd like us to actually take a collective breath together before we even start our show. So if I can have everyone take a deep breath with me. Beautiful. And I'm inviting us to breathe in a little bit deeper today because we are in the middle of the holiday season. And I find what happens is we get pulled so many directions. There's part of this energy of celebration and families coming together, arranging travel plans and all of that type of energy, which is fun and celebratory. And then there's this energy, it's the end of the year, I need to finish all of these things. And then we're looking ahead and we're planning on what we're going to be stepping into in 2015. And it can get a little bit overwhelming at times. So what I really invite you to do is to remember to take those deep breaths from time to time when you feel the stress rising or that you're pulled too many directions or the energy is just going a lot of different directions and you find you're not as centered as you would like to be. And in just 2 seconds, that can bring you to a more powerful and centered place. And I'd like to introduce my 2 guests to you today. I have Joie Seldon. Joie, welcome to the call today.
Thank you very much.
Great to be here. Glad to have you. And I have Empress Iris Stallworth-Grayling as well. I welcome you to the show as well.
Oh, delighted to be here with all of you.
And as we're exploring our emotional intelligence, stress of the season, and really stepping into a more powerful Empress energy, I was reflecting on a conversation I'd had recently with someone. And we were talking about all the things that we've been doing and we're looking at doing and what we're going to grow and build. And we decided we were not just business builders, but we were empire builders, multiple businesses. And then we decided it was going to grow and expand around the world. So we had huge vision, huge plans to make a global impact in the areas that we're called to work in and to serve and to support. And here's something I notice when we step into a bigger and bigger space, when we take on more responsibility, when we're looking at growing and doing more and more and more, what we can do sometimes is add more to our plates and more to our plates and more to our plates. And then eventually our plate is full. If you think about going to the buffets where you can try a little of this, little of that, by the time you get to the end of the line, it's overflowing with lots of stuff. And you don't always remember what you put on in that first layer, the first little bit you were sampling. And inevitably, something's going to fall off the plate because the plate is only so big. We have so much energy. We have so many hours in a day that there are some boundaries around what we can do and have on our plate. And when something rolls off the plate, sometimes we can get really critical of ourselves. Can't believe I did that. That's not in alignment with who I am. I don't make commitments I can't keep. And we beat ourselves up. And what I invite us to do instead, when we find something rolling off the plate, that's actually the moment to lean in. That is an indicator, a red flag that something's off, that perhaps you have too much on your plate. And what I would invite you to do is, when you discover those times, that's when you want to pause, breathe in, look at the plate, and decide, knowing this is more than a plate can sustain, and I keep adding things on without taking them off. What am I going to elect to take off my plate? Maybe it's no longer serving me. It's no longer serving where I'm growing and what I'm building. Because if I'm going to build this empire I was talking about, I can't keep behaving as a solo business trying to do the things I did before. So I need to find ways to either delegate more or take things off my plate, or find what is the best and highest use of my time, and really practically choose what's going to be on my plate going forward. And sometimes it actually means leaving some empty space, not just creating enough space so everything fits on the plate, but actually creating a space on the plate so that by the time I get to the end of the buffet line, or the time I go through the year, or I'm getting closer and closer to my goals and objectives, there might be things I want to add into my life, and I need to have room and space to be able to do that. So I just invite you to pause today and think about that a little bit. If you feel pulled too many directions, not that you have to go out and build empires everywhere and take over the world, but I want you to fully embrace your life and fully step into center stage, and be able to do that with confidence, with balance, and with energy, and knowing that you can handle with great skill what you have on your plate. Another way you can think about this is things that grow. If you think of a rose bush, for instance, it grows and it grows, but you at some point have to prune it back to keep it healthy, to keep it vibrant, to have it be able to keep bringing forth beautiful blossoms and flowers. And sometimes we view this as a negative activity, that I'm taking something off my plate or I'm cutting this vine back, when actually it's a sign of health and a sign of growth in our lives. You want to be able to grow so that your plate is overflowing and you get to choose what space you're going to create, what new things you're going to put on, and what things you're electing to take off. You want your rose bushes and the things you're growing in your life to be vibrant and thriving, to the point that you get to come in and prune it back from time to time and redirect all that you're doing. So this is, listeners and guests, what I'd like us to lean into today. Taking a deep breath. Those of you that are driving, please keep your hands on the wheel, eyes open. But those of you who are able to, go ahead and put both feet on the floor, hands open on your lap. Take a deep breath, eyes closed. And in fact, we can dial this up by putting one hand on our heart, one hand on our head, kind of bringing in our mind, body, soul, and spirit. Take a deep breath. And this is what I'd like you to ask yourself. What is it, self, that you need today? What is it that would support you in feeling great about what you have on your plate, the things that you're growing in your life. What is it you need today on this show, this week, to support you in having a balanced plate that actually has some room and space for the new things you're going to be adding on as we step into this new year? Take one more deep breath. Great. And Iris, I didn't know if you had a thought or a phrase you'd like to share that came to your mind.
What came to my mind is to celebrate and not rush so quickly to the next event. To find my way to slow down and really celebrate the moment, big or small.
Beautiful. Thank you. I like that, big or small. Good. Thank you. How about you, Joy? Did you have something come to your mind or heart?
Well, what came is to love yourself no matter what's going on. To care for yourself. I think self-care is a term that's spoken about a lot, but it is really incredibly important that we care for ourselves. That makes everything else work.
I so agree. I believe we are our own greatest assets, and sometimes we just burn ourselves out and forget to pause and take care of ourselves. So thank you. And I love how you're tying that into loving yourself. That love and care go together.
Right.
Thank you. Beautiful. And I think for me, it's really being mindful of what I'm saying yes to. There's so many wonderful opportunities out there and places to go and people to see and things to do and ways that I love to embrace life and touch others and be touched by others, that it's important for me to be really mindful of pausing and realistic in what I'm saying yes to, so that, like you were saying, Iris, I can celebrate the moments, big or small, and to really enjoy each of the things that I am saying yes to. And I think with what you were saying, Joy, about really figuring in that love and self-care with the things that I'm saying yes to. Oh, thank you both for sharing from your hearts. And listeners, we're getting ready to go into our first commercial break. And so I invite you to lean in, keep breathing in, and see what you need to support you today, this week, and throughout the holidays. We look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You have the power within to achieve anything, be it wealth, balance in your life, getting over your fears and roadblocks, and creating a positive impact on the world. Let Darby Mack show you how on the Powerful, Passionate, Prosperous Woman Show. Darby will bring you the tools and tips that you need to make it all happen with engaging guests and topics that will help you make your dreams come true. The Powerful, Passionate, Prosperous Woman Show is heard live every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, noon Eastern Time on Voice America Empowerment.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Build your better business. Achieve that goal.
Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your break there and got to really pause, even just for a minute, and listen and really see what it is that you need to support you today, this week, and throughout the holidays. And I really invite you to write down and capture the thought or phrase that came to your mind when we have that clarity in front of us and we're able to refer back to it. It really helps us in bringing into our lives those things that we need that are most supportive of us. And it also helps us recognize the opportunities to step into the support that we need because we've kept it top of mind and top of thought and top of heart. Well, it is my pleasure to introduce our first guest, known as Empress Iris. Empress Iris, I welcome you to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Rebecca.
And I'd love to share just a little bit about you with our listeners. Empress Iris is an expert in metaphysics, psychology, and she loves to help women reclaim their power. She's a certified hypnotherapist, a former psychotherapist with 25 years experience in that field, a coach, a speaker, workshop facilitator, and founder of the Empowered Empress, I should say. So we're in for a real treat. And Empress Iris, I would love to actually ask you two questions initially as we are digging into your wisdom today. One, I would love for you to share with our listeners how you came about the title Empress Iris and why this work of empowering women is so important to you.
Well, you know how beautiful things happen when you are open and you just receive these wonderful inspirational ideas or words. And 4:15 in the morning, I got this beautiful name for my first retreat, Empress Day at the Love Spa. And it so resonated with me because the more and more I have really stepped into feeling I am an empress, it feels so inspiring and empowering to really help other women step into owning that they are also the empress of their life. So it was a gift that has come through me that I have continued to expand and totally enjoy.
Beautiful. Thank you. And why is empowering women in this way and kind of reclaiming their power, why is that so important to you?
Well, I believe that especially women over 40, I've noticed this in all my years of working with clients, and I've noticed that women can get caught in the old stories about what it's like to be a woman over 40. So it excites me to help women get caught in the old stories that keep them small. And I have a phrase, women begin to bloom at 40, and we keep on blooming. And I have 3 stages that I think we continuously move through. We kind of keep going back and forth between these stages. The exploring stage is looking at our particular magic, your gorgeous flavor that comes from your wisdom, loving your beautiful changing body as you treat your body like a precious jewel, and your strengths and abilities. In fact, keep falling in love with yourself. Not in a narcissistic way, but honoring your magnificence that you already possess.
Beautiful.
The next phase is energizing your habits with yourself and others so you step more into your higher self, where you're loving, joyous, and strong more of the time. And the last thing is expressing yourself. So you're sharing your magic. So everyone, it's a win-win-win for you, for others, and the world. And it's my pleasure to really help women fully bloom as I continue to work through all of these stages and move back and forth with them.
And we've talked a little bit about the title Empress Iris and some of how we can step more powerfully into our energy, the different phases that we can go through in that process. But do you mind explaining what is Empress energy?
Well, Empress energy is owning and recognizing your particular way of being in the world. It really comprises all the facets of makes you special and unique and so juicy and wonderful, your special magic that you have. And it takes, I think it does take us a while to come to the place of really sitting in that place of owning, I have power, beauty, strength, and I have a lot to share. And I think Empress energy is stepping into that and in the blooming process, letting it emerge. And it has an ebb and flow. We are supporting each other. We are stepping into it. We are validating each other. But it comes from a core of loving ourselves, coming from that core, as Joy was referencing, coming from that core place of seeing what you have, that magnificence that is your special magic.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I love how you are sharing that you get to keep on blooming. I think sometimes we think one bloom, that's it, we're good. I love how you're saying we get to keep on blooming and keep bringing that magic forward, our own unique magic that we bring to the world. Thank you. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious about this transition because you are an expert in metaphysics, psychology. You've been a psychotherapist, for many, many years. You have 25 years experience in that. And you've made this shift into really stepping into your Empress energy and helping others do that. Was there a defining moment that propelled you in this direction?
What happened for me when I was, ironically enough, in my early 40s, is that I realized that I was so busy rushing from one accomplishment to the next that I didn't take time to take that breath, to fully connect with myself. It was all about my to-do list, and I had to learn to slow down and really have a relationship with myself and see the gifts and the challenges I had to really step more into a place of loving myself, treating myself well. I was overweight. I had to take better care of my body. And I was so busy, I didn't have time for deeply connecting with friends. I was too busy to the next thing. In fact, the exercise we did was so helpful, Rebecca. It reinforced how important it is to celebrate and savor the moments. And it's good to have accomplishments, but it needs to be balanced with connecting to yourself and seeing your unique preciousness.
Thank you. And I know that you've put together a generous, amazing gift for our listeners today. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Well, I would love to give everyone a 45-minute Empress exploratory session. We're going to dive deeply into looking at what is your particular magic, what are the things that light you up, what are the things that really make you feel good about yourself, and then I have a special bonus for your wonderful listeners, Rebecca. Anyone that signs up will also get my free Hot Off the Press 7 Keys to Energize Your Empress Energy.
Beautiful. Thank you. So listeners, I really invite you to lean in to Empress Iris's gifts, I should say, plural, to support you. And here's the deal. At the end of the show, so you must listen to the end, I'm going to share with you how to access her amazing gifts, as well as the gifts that I offer and that Joy is making available to you as well. And then, Iris, we have just about 1 minute here, and I was wondering if you had a tool or tip that you could share with our listeners today to help them enhance or dial up their Empress energy.
I have a tool that I love. I'll do it very quickly. It's called I Love My Life. So you have to say it with gusto. I love my life. And when you hear these words, imagine what you would be doing, and very importantly, what would you be feeling if you were really living these words. Then you make a list of 10 to 13 activities and the related feelings, and they're big and small. And this is not your to-do list, but it's things that don't want to get caught there.
Important distinction.
And then in the morning, pick 3 from that list and set an intention to do 3 every day. Now, here's the bonus. Celebrate at night and then name the 3 and say, I love my life and I feel, and say an emotion.
Beautiful. Well, let's do this. If Joy and Iris and listeners, let's claim it. Do you mind leading us in saying the phrase?
Yes.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I love my life.
Beautiful. So listeners, as we go into our commercial break, I invite you to stand up and claim that phrase, and then take a moment to pause and write down. You were saying 10 activities that you could start stepping into to show and celebrate and be in the life you love. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Do you feel like sometimes you just don't know where to start with your health and fitness routine? Every week, you can hear from people who have been where you feel that you are right now and find out how they moved forward and are living their best lives ever. It's called Lifestyle 360, and your host is Nicole Monier. Get inspired to take control of your health and your life. Tune into Lifestyle 360 every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone, and we hope that you enjoyed your break and that you were able to claim that you love your life and started to build that list of activities to help you live the life you love and to keep on blooming. It's my pleasure to introduce our next guest. Her name is Joie Seldon. She has an MA and is an executive and leadership coach, an actor, teacher, and loves empowering women, has a track record of doing that. And she's an expert on emotional intelligence and has been an entrepreneur since high school when you opened up a ballet school in Guam. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
I love that little fact I was able to pull out. So, Joie, I welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
And Joie, I'd love to understand why this work of empowering women, and particularly around emotional intelligence, is so important to you. And I would love if you'd also share with us what you mean by emotional intelligence.
Okay. I think, first of all, it is important, particularly for women. I mean, it is for everyone because the whole world would really benefit from really knowing how to understand and work with their emotions. But traditionally, women have been devalued because they're, quote unquote, just so emotional, as if emotions are a weakness. It's a whole cultural, I'd like to say it's our culture, but I think it's worldwide, and it's been the fact for a very, very long time, for centuries, where women's sensitivity and emotionality has been actually devalued as something that makes them weaker or less than. And in fact, emotions are one of the most powerful resources that we have. So that's the first part. Mm-hmm. Emotional intelligence is basically your ability to recognize what you're feeling, when you're feeling it, understanding the meaning or the inherent information within the specific emotions that you're feeling, and then how to either express them or communicate them if those are things that need to happen. But the most important thing is, what action is that emotion pointing you towards? What is it that it's telling you to do? So it's about really understanding and managing what your feelings within yourself, and also how you then interact with other people in the best possible way.
Beautiful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And I appreciated some of the passion that came through as you were sharing why this work is so important to you, and that you really do see it as something not just in our culture, but really around the world, that the emotional sensitivity or awareness, I would like to say, of emotions really viewed as a weakness, when in fact it sounds like it's just the opposite. Because if it can direct the action you should take, that's a really powerful place to be, that clarity.
Yes. And in fact, it's sort of the attitude that there are a lot of quote-unquote negative emotions that are problems that get in your way, and you're not supposed to feel them. And that becomes an issue, because then you're cutting off a very important source of information to you. Emotions themselves are actually an information system. And they are biological, they're physical, they happen in your body, in your brain, in your nervous system. They're not ethereal, they're not really mysterious, but we are just not educated about them, partly because we just didn't know in the last number of years There's research scientists and neuroscientists have helped us to understand a great deal more about the actual physical function, and then we combine that with our understanding of human nature and psychology and social interactions to help us really understand how important they really are.
And that being said, and us gaining a better understanding of their function, how would you describe their function to us?
Well, they, when you're having a feeling, you know you're having it because you can feel it, right? So it's actually activating a whole neurobiological system in your body that is there to prompt you to action that either moves you away from harm or towards pleasure and life itself. In the primal days and back in the cave days, we really were surviving based on fight or flight. Fear was, you could have died if you didn't have fear. It was moving you away from danger or helping you fight off something that was going to kill you. That's where we started. Now we have evolved as people, and our emotions have evolved also. So that each primary emotion, and I work with 7 primary emotions that are basically part of our DNA, that each one has a function that it's prompting you to do. It can get more complex, but basically that's what's happening. So fear is still something to keep harm away from you, but how we deal with that in the complexity of our social interactions and our who we are as people, that's the benefit of learning about emotional intelligence.
And I guess leapfrogging off of this, or kind of branching off of this, is there a relationship between our emotions and our purpose in life? I'm just thinking, if we're talking about it's giving you clarity and different information, it's helping you move away from harm and more towards pleasure in life, how does it, or is there a way that it ties into our purpose in life, which so many people I know are seeking and particularly are looking to step more powerfully in the beginning of the year?
Yes, it is, because it is it's bringing us information. And when we talk about our purpose in life, whether you actually know it or you don't know it, your emotions are a guideline. They are a guide for you. They are bringing you information from your inner self or your divine self, your higher self, the part of you that really does know. I think that there is a part of us, a spiritual core, that knows way more than we often are in touch with in the complexity of being a human being. So it's a way for us to also understand what's going on inside of us that can get in our way, that can stop us, or that inspires us. So fear, for example, comes up. I want to take an action here. I want to be a singer, or I want to be a therapist, or I want to go into business for myself. Whatever it is that you have this desire to be, then we have the intellect that can come in and say, oh, well, no, but you're not smart enough, or it's too late, or you don't have the money. We have all these excuses, and then the fear that's there stops us. But what is fear? If your life is being directly threatened, you need fear. Fear will make you act faster than you can think, actually, on a core level. But the fear response itself does not mean that there is a direct threat. So we have this thought of something that we want. Oh, I think this is my purpose. This is what I want to do. And then the fear comes up because it doesn't like change. The body doesn't like change. So there's lots of reasons that can cause the fear response to come up, but that doesn't mean that it's dangerous. So fear's message in our modern times has more to do with pay attention. And what is it that you need to pay attention to? It directs you to pay attention to thoughts that may not be supportive. The opposite of what Iris was talking about is I love my life. Maybe the thoughts are about worry or stress, or they are pointing you to a belief that you have that says for you it's not possible, when really that's just a belief and something to be dealt with. So it can put your attention towards something, then you bring your conscious mind into it. You bring your conscious self in order to use that information in the best way possible. But it's a tremendous guide, and it also is part of your instinct. To say, oh, I'm gonna make this call, or I'm gonna go to this event, or I'm gonna go say something to that person. It's a feeling that comes up, and it's directly tied in with your instinct. And then you meet that person, you go, no, this isn't right. That's also part of your emotional intelligence that says, no, I'm not going to spend time here. I'm going to go elsewhere. So it's a really wonderful tool to use towards your purpose.
Great. Thank you.
Not a long answer. I apologize.
No. I appreciate that, because I think sometimes fear is really misunderstood, and sometimes those leadings, or sometimes people call it a pull or a gut instinct, sometimes is undervalued. And I think it's really important to listen and lean into the information you're gaining in those moments. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'd love for you to take just a moment and share about the amazing free gift that you've made available for our listeners today.
Well, I've written a book outlining the 4 foundational emotions of sadness, fear, anger, and joy. And this is a segment, it's the beginning segment of the book that lays out an overview of emotions. It gives you some great information about how they work, what's going on in your body. And then I'm going to also offer a list, not just of these 4, but of the 7 that I work with in my system, that gives you the inherent meaning in each of these emotions and what action that they are pointing you towards.
Perfect. Thank you so much for making that available. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And it looks like we have 1 more minute. So I thought, is there a tip, since we talked about stress earlier, or an idea or a step they can take, so our listeners can take with their emotions today to help reduce stress?
Yes. As stress is, it's definitely biologically, emotionally based, that combination. And when you are stressed, all your energy will come up primarily into the upper part of your body, especially around your head, neck, and shoulders, and upper back, because that's where your perceptuary sensors are, your sight, sound, etc. And that's where you perceive what's going on in the outside world. So simply stand with your feet on the ground, or if you're sitting with your feet on the ground, and become aware of the balls of your feet. So that one of the things it does is it brings your attention down from your head and your thinking brain, what sometimes becomes like monkey mind in the Buddhist tradition, and you bring it down, your attention down to your feet. So you get in touch with the balls of your feet. Then your ovaries or your testicles, just becoming aware of that, which allows your energy to flow down into your pelvic area, and then your eyeballs. So if you can just take a moment now to sense the balls of your feet, your ovaries or testicles, and I'm sure more ovaries on this call since it's for women, and sensing your eyeballs, and all 3 of these, and see what you notice. It should help you connect your whole body and settle down into your body and come out of the intensity of being up in your head. And it's a tremendous stress reducer. You can do it anywhere because nobody knows what you're doing.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, listeners, as we're going into our commercial break, I promise I will, when we come back, let you know how to access these amazing gifts. And meanwhile, I encourage you to stand and be aware of the balls of your feet, your ovaries, all the way up to your eyeballs. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Now you can take your favorite Voice America radio program with you anywhere. Sign up for our mobile app if you have an iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry. The Voice America Interactive Radio Player, powered by Aircast, gives you the freedom to listen to any of our programs, anywhere, live and on demand. No registration is required. Listen to your favorite Voice America hosts and discover new ones. Download the Voice America mobile app for iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry, powered by Aircast. Visit the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed the break and you got to have awareness of your full body and you were able to breathe in and really listen to what it is that you need today from us, from those around you this week, and leaning into the end of the year and the beginning of 2015. And I really invite you to build the practice of listening and pausing and breathing, sharing awareness of all of your listening, I guess sharing with yourself and listening to all of you and all the wisdom that you have. And it does look like we have had a listener call in that has a quick question. So let me quickly tell you how to access the amazing free gifts that I promised to tell you. And then we will go to our caller and listen to her question and support her in that way. So wanted to let you know, if you're watching on Voice America, if you're listening to the show, if you look over to the right-hand side, you're going to see a list of links in yellow. And one of them will say radio show gifts. You simply click on that, open up the window, enter your name and email address, and a world of amazing gifts will open up to you. If you're listening to the replay, then you can simply go to my website, which is www.yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Hit the radio show tab, and on the left-hand top corner, you will see the radio show gifts, the empowerment gifts. You simply click on that. Again, enter in your name, email address, and this wonderful world of gifts generously provided by Joie and Iris and past guests will be made available to you. And with that, I would love to go to our listener that has a question. Hi, this is Rebecca. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
And
I have appreciated very much things that all three of you have said, and I wonder if I might ask Iris a specific question.
Absolutely, and I thank you so much for your comment. And yes, please ask Iris your question.
Iris, I deeply appreciate the whole constellation of the Empress and the Empire, very much for women over 40. I'd like it if you could say a little bit more about the specific tools that you ask us to practice in order to embrace being the Empress of our own lives more.
Oh, thank you for the question. I'll be glad to. I think the first thing is to keep falling in love with yourself and slow down enough to celebrate the special magic that you already possess. That's a real core thing, is to slow that down and really feel that, notice that, and appreciate that in yourself. The next thing is to develop habits that really help you step into more of the person, and because it's mostly women here, mostly to step into the woman you want to be and to keep blooming in those ways that make you feel you are in touch with your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing is to be willing to step out of the shadows and let your voice and your gifts be shared and enjoyed by other people. It nourishes us and other people and the world.
Thank you, Iris.
Thank you.
And do you mind sharing your name and where you're calling from?
No. My name is Monza Naff, and I'm calling today from Sun River, Oregon, near Bend, in the mountains.
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. I wanted to give you that opportunity to step out and shine and be seen and heard. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it. And Joy, I'm going to look again at your book. I very much appreciate what you're giving us as well, very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Monza.
Well, thank you, Monza, for calling in. We so appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a great show.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks. And I'm just pausing to see if there are any other callers or emails that are being sent in. I really want to honor and get through and support as many people as we can live that are calling and emailing in. Oh, looks like we got everyone. So then, Joy, I wanted to give you just a minute here to share if you had a final thought or tip that you wanted to suggest or share with our listeners today.
Well, I want to just comment on the stress, speaking about stress earlier, and that sometimes we think we don't have a choice about it. You know, sometimes we can't change the circumstances of our life, but we can be in command of how we respond to or react to those circumstances, and that we have the power of choice at any given time, even in the feelings that we're having, the emotions that are coming, we have the power of choice. And to really embrace that you can choose how you want to feel and take action in ways that lead you towards that or that reduce your stress. So that's
Beautiful.
the main piece. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think that's so important to realize we have choice and we can be empowered in how we respond or react to things. We can't always choose what happens to us, but we can choose how we respond. And I believe, I'm biased here, but I really believe those pauses are really critical in that process. And
absolutely.
Yeah, and listeners, what I really want to encourage you to do today is to remember you are beautifully and wonderfully made on purpose and with a purpose. You are a gift to everyone around you. And there are people that are touched every time you're willing to shine and share more of you with all of us. And I really want you to lean into the information that we shared with you today about really evaluating what you have on your plate, really listening to the emotional information that you're being given, and really consciously and purposely looking for ways to step forward in your Empress energy, to find ways to celebrate everything that you do, the big things and the small things, and make sure to take care of you, to love yourself and care for yourself, and to keep blooming and blooming and blooming, which I love that you shared earlier, Iris, and claim that you love your life and build a life that you love. We look forward to talking to you next week, and may you always, always, always bloom where you're planted and shine.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.
Thanks again for listening to the preceding program, brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the preceding program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.